Jacqueline.
Hi.
Hope you're all doing well. Myself, I am well. I am happy to have you in this class. We are very excited to host you for the second time. And welcome again. I am grateful, and we are here this morning. I'd like to start us with a word of prayer. Let's bow our heads for a word of prayer. Our God and our Father, we come before you this morning. We want to give you thanks. We want to give you glory. We thank you, Lord, for we are here again for another webinar. We thank you, Lord, for the last webinar was very impactful, and we are grateful that people are showing up even for this webinar. We pray that you're going to give Carol all the strength that it is needed. Lord, please help her discard all the information that she has to us. We thank you for her. We thank you for her mom. We thank you for everyone who has had this opportunity this morning to attend this webinar. We pray it's going to be impactful and it is going to be of help in our lives and even in our friends and the community around us. And it is in Jesus' name do we pray and believe. Amen. Welcome. So I'm going to have a brief introduction for Carol. And to start with, I'm very excited and I would like to welcome you back and to welcome Carol. As you all maybe have not interacted with her, but she's a very passionate and knowledgeable lady. And she's very dedicated in helping individuals and their families to embrace natural healing and the holistic well-being. In our last webinar, I'd like to recap a bit about the last webinar. We shared a bit of insights on the mental health and immunity system. And today, particularly for this session, she's going to walk us through children's immunity and help us understand how we are supposed to maneuver around that and to what signs and symptoms to look out when the children's immunity is weakened, and how we can be in a position to take care of our young ones. Either we not so going to the hospitals and all, but in a holistic way. And with that, I'd like to welcome Kara.
Hi, good morning.
Good morning.
Thank you for such an introduction, Annie, and thank you for coordinating this whole Zoom. I'm really proud of what you have been doing together with your team. And it is such an honor to see that we have 55 people online waiting eagerly. I know some of us kept time, 10:30, we were here. We thank you so much. So Annie, thank you so much for representing and thank you for the introduction. And I'm looking forward to also learning even as I teach and continue with the good work. I'm really, really proud of you. And for all our members, good morning or good whatever time it is, wherever it is that you are. I hope that everyone is well. I hope everyone is doing fine. And thank you for taking time to log in so that we can learn together. The first thing I will request is that if you can be able to kindly mute your mic so that we can have a session where we can learn together. Kindly mute your mic, or if the host is able to mute all of us, then the better. All right, for those of us who are meeting me for the first time, my name is Carol, your health coach, and I am speaking to you live from Kenya, from Thika. And I was looking forward to this day. It's quite a cold day. It's cold outside. And for that, we are thankful. So today's topic is members requested that they want to learn on how to help the children, how to boost the immunity of children. And I am sure we have come here expectant. I hope you can take your paper and your pen and you can write any question that you have so that you can take like 30 minutes, 30 to 40 minutes for just going through the immune system, going through the conversation, and then we take time and we ask the questions. But if the question is burning and there's nothing you can do, you go to the chat box and you write the question there so that you don't forget. Carol is a naturopathic health coach. I have been a practicing naturopathic healthy life ambassador for the last 12 years. Yes, and I have been able to through God's grace, to bring together as many naturopathic healthy life ambassadors. Some of you, I see you here. I know you have already done the 12 weeks program. So I'll start by thanking our Institute of Functional and Naturopathic Health Practice. It is the main sponsor. That is how you are not able to, how you do not charge, you are not charged anything for you to join this. So thank you so much, Institute of Functional and Naturopathic Health Program. And for those who don't know much about the Institute helps, it has 12 weeks program that I started, and we have a program called NFHLA. This is the Naturopathic Functional Healthy Life Ambassadorship Program. And this is the curriculum. You take 12 weeks. We learn online, we learn virtually on your phone, and we share with you information on the 12 circles of life, how you can use bioindividuality to achieve life, to achieve health. And it is a wonderful program. Intake is ongoing. Intake for cohort 4, if I'm not wrong, it's ongoing and it will be starting next week. So you better be ready. You better join us so that you can be able to learn. And then for those who have already finished, I hope to see you in December when we will be doing the graduation. I also want to thank the mother organization, R&B. You can tell I'm branded. You've noticed that Annie was also branded where she was seated in the office. R&B is the mother company where we practice a consultancy of naturopathic healthy life. Also, we have natural products, and we have different agents, different spaces. I know I've seen our agent in Eldoret, Grace. I've seen Thika people, they are here, Thika office headquarters. I've seen Kampala, Salome is here. I've seen quite a number of you, and before the end of the session, I will let you know where our shops are located. So thank you so much. And finally, and not the least, I want to thank you who have been a member of our webinar group. And I thank you because you've committed to be joining us every once a month when we're doing these webinars. Number 2, those who have been sharing these webinars with others, because our desire is to create a ripple effect and wake Africa up to the beauty and the naturality, the natural ways of life, so that we can live a healthy life. I would want to start this session with asking immune system. For those of us who attended our last webinar, we spoke a bit about the immune system and the vital factor. We spoke about what it means. And I use layman's language, so I'm still going to use layman's language. Immune system is like our body is like a government. And a government to run, it needs several arms. It needs the legislature, the army, the military, it needs the executive and all these things. So our bodies are also like a government, and our bodies have the military or have all these arms of the government that will help the body to maintain good health. Okay, so this is what we are calling the immune system, all the vital factor. These are the systems that God has placed in you and I so that they can help us in keeping you growing, keeping you healthy, keeping you strong, being able to sleep, being able to function the way you function every day. For also, as I continue, if you're a member of this group and you don't have a glass of water, make sure you have a glass of water. And the next time when you're coming for the webinar, we will be carrying a glass of water so that you can keep being hydrated. And so when you see me taking water, is because also I need to help my throat. So our bodies have all the systems put together to work together in a very miraculous, beautiful way to keep you to be who you are. And that is the what we are talking about. How do we take care of that, all these systems for a child? So we start by defining why a child, who is a child? Because even myself, I feel like a child, by the way. I'm still a child. You remember those days we used to say when I grow up? I still feel like I'm not grown up completely. So when we're talking about a child, who are we talking about? We will categorize this into four, or yeah, let's get to five. Then the rest we can do some other time when we're looking at the immune system. The first one, we will talk about we'll talk about a fetus who has already been conceived, who is living in her mother's womb. Because even when you're in your mother's womb, your immune system, actually not even, the moment the sperm and the ovum met, that is when the genes started coming together, that is when the immune system started building up. That is when and how the child has to fight inside the body. Because naturally, when the immune system senses something foreign in your body, it tries to get it out. So even the child, even the fetus, when they are in your womb, the body initially, the first trimester, the body is trying to push the child away because the body is feeling like it is a foreign thing. So the child's immunity has to keep strong, has to grow so that it can assure the mother's womb that it is okay, I'm safe, you can keep me here. And so you can imagine the language that happens inside a mother's womb. Most of us focus on building the immune system of a child after delivery, and we assume that before delivery that you didn't have a role to play for you to keep that child healthy. Now, there's some studies that have been done, but it has not been confirmed yet. However, I think from the research I've been doing, I can relate with that research that you can have memories of you when you are in your mother's womb. It's only that they're not clear. The emotions that your mother went through or carried through when she was pregnant with you, you feel those emotions. Your mother teaches you how to manage your mental health from when you were in her womb. Your mother feeds you. Of course, that is known by everyone, that your mother, whatever she feeds is what the baby feeds. So it's not just about the diet. Most of us focus so much on boosting the immunity and we think we're talking about food. So I want you to rewrite what you know in your head, that when we're talking about boosting immune system is about food. It has, yes, the food plays a role because the food will help us with nutrients and all these things. But today I want us to look at the overall, as we are taught during our classes, the overall ways we can help a child. So during pregnancy, a mother can be able to help the child to have strong immune system, one, by what she's feeding on. Remember, this child, this baby, this fetus needs to grow. So of course, during pregnancy, we have cravings that are hindering us from eating some of these things. And sometimes it makes us eat things that we don't even understand why we are eating them. But it's important for you to remember, because here I assume I'm talking to someone maybe planning to get pregnant, maybe someone who is pregnant, or someone who will get pregnant in future. It is important to know, it is important for you to know that whatever it is that you'll be going through when you're pregnant, your child will be able to know, your immune system will be building there. I have been interacting with so many children who have autoimmune diseases today, but you can tell that they got it from their mother's womb because the mother was under so much stress. So we are talking about the emotional, mental state. Stress is one of the factors that can interfere with a child's immune system when they are in the womb. And so it is important when you're pregnant or when you find a pregnant woman, first of all, make her life a bit easier, minimize and reduce on the stresses. This same form of stress after delivery, it is transferred through the milk that the mother produces. It is transferred to the child. I want to give you a simple example. If a mother was pregnant and then she kept crying because of stress, maybe something used to stress her and she used to cry, that child, upon delivery, The first few months or even the first few years, the baby is sleeping and he or she does because the baby can remember this, the pain, some of these children who we have who cry aimlessly and cry bitterly, it's because they were uncomfortable when they were in the mother's womb. So the immune system boosting does not start by just eating. Also, what you feed. Personally, I remember when I was pregnant with my daughter, 18, 19 years ago, I used to sing for her a song. I used to sing, God will make a way where there seems to be. That song, she could hear it when she was in my womb, and she could even jump up and down. When after delivery, when she was an infant, anytime I wanted her to sleep, I would sing that song, and you could tell that it has caught her attention. That also explains why a child would know the voice of a mother, the voice of his or her father. If a child can know those nitty-gritties, those people who, when they are pregnant, if someone comes close to them, the baby is jumping up and down because they're excited. And then there's another one who will come close to you and the baby refuses to jump up and down. If a baby can be able to read, to feel those things, it is the same way that we need to boost that immune system. I'm meeting children, most children after delivery, they have something like eczema. They have something like um, I recently saw a child with rheumatoid arthritis, and it was very disturbing. I've seen a child with hypothyroidism, and they are young. I've seen a child with lupus and all these things. So I've seen children with autoimmune diseases. And by child, I mean either infant or childhood. So the second stage of a human being, the first stage of a human being is the conception stage or the pregnancy. And that is where the mother is more responsible over this child. The mother's actions, the mother's reactions, the mother's fears, the mother's worries, the mother's sleep patterns, they interfere with the conception and the pregnancy period. Now, after delivery, the baby comes with almost all the babies, most the higher percentage of our babies come with full figures, full body parts, but small ones. He or she will come with hands, with a tongue, with eyes. There will be a fully formed child. However, we have some few who are not fully formed. But when you get a fully formed child, but now this child needs to grow these organs, even the organs and all these things, they need to grow. And then that means that the systems of this child needs to be taken care of. The first and the most important part of boosting the immune system of a child is to help of an infant is to breastfeed. And that's why we talk about breastfeeding exclusively for 6 months. Breast milk, God, in his own mysterious ways, he put some nice, good nutrients that will help the baby have all the strength that they need. And the first milk that comes out, the colostrum that comes out is very, very nutritious. And so this is why we encourage mothers to pursue breastfeeding. Now, when a mother is breastfeeding, the best way to preserve and to empower the strength of the milk that she's taking is through what she eats. What kind of food does that mother eat? What kind of drinks does that mother eat? Because she will be transferring those nutrients to the child through the breast milk. So it's very important for you to observe what you're eating. I know most after delivery, most women in our traditional African society, we feed them so much proteins and sometimes so much starches. And the reasoning behind proteins is to help the body recover the tissues, they recover the damage that was done during delivery. That is one of the reasons why people take a lot of proteins. The reason why some people abuse starches, I say abuse because there are some women, when they are breastfeeding, they are fed so many starches, is to help with the energy. And sometimes we forget the vitamins, but well, there are some people who will take vitamins because of the long haul to avoid constipation and such things. But it is important for you to understand why a breastfeeding mother needs to be fed what she's being fed as a way of boosting the immune system of the infant. So one, we feed the mother proteins so that we can build the tear and wear of the tissues and the ligaments and all the things that were damaged during child delivery. I assume that we all know that child delivery comes with tears here and there. It comes with hardships. And so we give the mother proteins to help building blocks, the building blocks to help the muscles to take this. It is important for the mother to be given whole meal carbohydrates. And I go back to whole meal because the whole meal will provide her with fiber and it will help with the digestion. And the whole meal will also be nutritious enough that they will not overeat. They'll not be overfed. Because I know most people are scared of being overweight after delivery. And sometimes I say it's a mark of motherhood. But then if you want to help this mother, stop feeding them too much refined starches so that she can also give, because when you refine and fortify starches, it means that you have taken away some of the nutrients that the body needs. So it means that the mother and the child will not get the quality starches that you wanted to give them. So the best would be whole meals. The best would be the roots, the cassava, the arrowroots, the sweet potatoes, the beetroots, the roots, and then also the whole meal. So it doesn't mean that it is wrong to do the refined, but when you do the refined and the fortified ones, do them in minimal. Don't overdo the refined and the minimal, the refined and the fortified ones, because you will have no nutrients to share with your child. Remember, you're not feeding for one person, you're feeding for two people. The third thing is we must, and it is important for the mother to feed on the vitamins, on the vegetables, on the fruits, so that they can be able to give the child the vitamins that they need. During infancy, the child is totally, completely dependent on the mother. So whatever you feed, even the emotions, you will have seen a lot of postpartum depression coming. And maybe someday we will have a session to talk about postpartum depression and why it has been on the rise. Yet previously we didn't have a lot of it. So what is this that is happening or not happening that is causing a lot of postpartum depression? So you will find that after delivery, if a mother is going through postpartum depression, it actually affects the infant. Maybe not at that time. Sometimes during that time, the infant will cry, the infant will be restless, and all these things. But sometimes you think it did not affect the infant until the child gets to either teenagehood or late childhood. That is when you realize, oh my goodness, the postpartum depression that the mother had actually affected the child. So it's important for us to help this mother to be able to curb all the howls that would be causing postpartum depression. Remember that during breastfeeding, you transfer even the bitterness, the anger, the frustrations, the unforgiveness, you transfer to the child. And I wanted to check and do a research around if the child was breastfeeding and someone who the mother doesn't like walks in, the child stops breastfeeding immediately because the milk becomes bitter. The child can feel the bitterness in that milk. If the child was breastfeeding and the mother goes deep in thought and she thinks about something very negative, the child stops breastfeeding because the milk actually becomes bitter. So it's important for you to see what you're feeding you're feeding physically. You see, when you join our classes at IFNHP, we will teach you difference between the food that you eat and then the primary foods. So when I talk about the joy, the forgiveness, the bitterness, the postpartum depression, those are the primary foods. Primary foods are not tangible. So I want that mother who is breastfeeding to always think about the primary foods that are not tangible, that are not proteins, they are not carbohydrates, they're not starches. Instead, they are the amount of joy, the amount of sleep, the amount of rest. Those are the primary foods that I'm talking about. So it's very important for you to understand and to know the effects of the primary food that you eat. It's also very important for the mother when they are breastfeeding to minimize completely intake of medication aimlessly. Why? Because this medication will actually go to the system of this child. Not some of us. My mother is still a naturopath. By the way, my mother is the best naturopath that I know. Some of us, our mothers, we actually inherited abuse of medication from our mothers because when they were breastfeeding us or when they were pregnant with us, they abused medication. Are medication bad? No, medication are good. They were meant to come and help for a certain period of time. They were meant to come and sort out a certain problem, and then you stop the medication. The problem we have, as we spoke about it last week, last webinar when we were talking about, I was sharing with you how I was taught by Dr. Joanne. Dr. Joanne is one of the uh, uh, consultants at IFNHP. She taught me something that I usually borrow every now and then when I'm teaching about medication. That medication is like when you're driving a car and then it has a problem, and then you take a stone, you put behind the wheel, you make the car, whatever the problem was, you usually drive, but you never carry the stone. Rarely do you carry the stone that helped you stop the car when you are making it. It's the same thing. Medication, when you feel unwell, you should go to hospital, be given some medication to help you kickstart. And then when you kickstart, you leave the medication. Some of us have said we want to live with medication for the rest of life. And we have a very serious commitment and marriage with medication. And we say until death do us part. And so it is important for us not to abuse medication. And it's the same thing. That is why we say don't abuse coffee, don't abuse alcohol, don't abuse cigarette, tobacco and such things when you are breastfeeding, because they will all go to your child. So not just food, also observe what it is that you're feeding your child. It is important for the mother to rest so that she can be able to produce quality milk. That is the first thing that you can do for an infant. The second thing you can do for an infant is that you will notice after a baby is born, like few hours, few weeks, the baby needs a minimum of 23 hours of sleep, because during sleep is how the immune system of this child is being built. It's how the systems are being made to work together. It is important for this child to take good rests. So ensure the child is sleeping enough and getting enough heat. When I was raising my daughter, my mom used to come and try and take off some of these clothes, because someone had told me that a child will grow faster if they are in good amount of heat. So I used to overdress my child. I almost killed mine. So we are not talking about the excess out of the ordinary heat. I'm saying just keep the child warm. The warmth helps in boosting the immune system. Keep the child in an environment that will not ruin the respiratory system. Some of us, even where we sleep, the bedrooms we sleep in, the bedroom we are letting this child sleep, it is full of molds and dust and all these things. So some of these children who are being treated asthma, maybe they even started in infancy, and the clogging and the sinuses and all these things. So it is important for you to check the environment that this child is sleeping in. That is also when we look at the posture. That is when we look at the posture of the child, because we know and we've heard of children who died of choking when they were asleep or something. So it's important when this child is sleeping, we check on the posture. We teach them how to do the posture. We check on our head shape is formed during the infancy stages. So it's important to not just focus on sleep. It is important to focus on the factors surrounding the sleep, the quality factors surrounding the sleep of this child, the environment, the breathing. Some of us also do, or we overuse, what are they called? The fabric softeners for our children. Remember, the fabric softeners have been created with quite a number of chemicals. So when you overdo, you introduce your child child's respiratory system, I know they smell really nice from far, but imagine when you have a blanket that is covering the child or it is near the child's noses and it has very high amount of fabric for softener. So let's go slow on the fabric softeners that have this strong smell for the children, so that we can help them. Remember, their respiratory system is just forming. It's young, it's simple, it is sweet. They're just beautiful babies who are just have small nostrils. So let's not overwhelm the nostrils of these children. And so when you look at the factors surrounding the rest, because the rest is very important, then you feed this child with breast milk. If the mother is not getting enough breast milk, some of the remedies you can do, let me give you randomly. You can come to R&B and we can give you milk thistle. You can come to R&B and we can give you shatavari. You can do hot chocolate. Don't do drinking chocolate because it has sugar. Do hot chocolate. You can do probiotics. Next to me, I have a glass of kombucha. That is the one that I'm taking. Pregnant mothers and mothers who just delivered, you need to take probiotics, because mothers who tell you that their children got, are they called colics or something like that? Yes, they get gas from their mother. So a pregnant woman and a woman who is breastfeeding, and after breastfeeding, you need probiotics. What do probiotics do? They help balance the gut bacteria, the good and the bad bacteria. I keep getting questions. If I'm pregnant, can I take probiotics? You actually need probiotics. If I've delivered, if I'm breastfeeding, can I take probiotics? You need probiotics to help balance your gut so that you don't transfer the gas and the acidity to your child. So it's important for you to take the probiotic. It actually helps with milk production. Cultivate ways and means, natural ways and means of building up the milk for the mother instead of giving the medication, so that you can give this child a quality milk. So it's important to do that. At infancy, the child's immune system knows how to grow itself through the milk that it's getting, the rest that the child is getting. Make sure you bathe your child so that they can be able to have enough rest. Now, the third stage of a human being is called childhood. So now, before we get to childhood, infancy, maybe we can talk about infancy, the first 6 months where we are breastfeeding. Now we are done breastfeeding. Now we want to wean this child. We are weaning this child off the breast milk. Remember, one of the other reasons why we don't feed a child when they are so young, the stomach is not fully developed. The stomach doesn't really know how to go through the digestion. So that is one of the other reasons why, even if a child lost his or her mother when they were young, we don't give them food. Instead, we give them milk. Milk has growth hormones, and that is why I'm still questioning adults why we are still drinking milk, whether we need to grow, whether we need the growth hormone. So milk has growth hormone. Remember, this baby, the stomach is growing, is now developing, maybe around 6 months. We start with solid but soft food. This is where I'm seeing the difference. Some of us were brought up with matoke, we were brought up with sweet potatoes, we were brought up with arrowroots. Sadly, when we start weaning the child, most people only see carbohydrates. Sadly, not all, but most people. And even when we do vitamins, when we do vegetables, we boil the vegetables together with the carbohydrates and we kill the vitamins in the vegetables. So the child ends up eating a lot of 0. 1. All the plants with green matter do not need to go through excess heating like boiling. 2. This child, his or her stomach is still not so developed. Keep away the fats and the oils, especially the oil seeds that we are using. Instead, give them fats and oils that are healthy, the fish food, the fish oil, the animal oil that can be able to help that child. So let us agree this. If you are watching this and the next time you will be meeting a mother, or you are a mother, or you will become a mother very soon, or your husband here, you are watching and you will tell your wife this, that the green matter does not need to be boiled. What do you do with this? Before you blend for your child, you take the spinach, you take the whatever green matter that you want to give to your child, you wash them, you add them to warm or hot water, you cover and leave for 5 to 10 minutes, and then that is infusion. You use that water to blend, and now you can blend together with the spinach. So do not boil sweet potato together with spinach, together with arrowroots, and then blend, and then you feed your child. The sweet potato and the arrowroot needed to be boiled, but the green matter did not need to be boiled. And the green matters, it is a child can still eat amaranth, a child can still eat dandelion, a child can still eat the other green matters, not just spinach. So let us not limit this child to just spinach. So do the green matter separately from the starches. The proteins, sometimes some proteins will give the gas and the acidity to the child, like for example, the beans. But to avoid that, you can boil them, you can soak them long and boil them longer to remove the gas. But in the first stages, you can reduce on that, but you can use a boiled egg. Maybe you can give a small portion of the boiled egg, the egg white, or you can do the yolk, not the whole. But let us focus on this baby food to be healthy and nutritious, not just feeding the child to be satisfied, because we are feeding the child to be satisfied without nourishing this child. So now when we are done with breastfeeding, we are weaning this child. It's important to look at the diet. Also, be a friend, make a friend of the stool of this child and the urine. Check the stool. The stool will always tell you the story. Your stool, even as an adult, will tell you how good or bad your immune system is. So it's important for you to check the stool and how it is coming out. So a child needs to be hydrated. That is another mistake we make, that we assume a child does not need water. It's important to introduce hydration to our children as early as they start weaning, because just like you, they need to be hydrated. So you need to give your children some water. Of course, you don't give them a whole glass, like an adult. You allow them. And for those who are joining us and they have not joined IFNHP and they have not been following, at IFNHP, we talk about drinking water. We don't drink water like we drink a sip at a time. You notice since we started, I'm just doing a sip and then putting it aside. So introduce your child to being hydrated. That way you will be helping them boost their immune system, clean up the skin, clean up the digestive system. Yes, a child, after they are weaned, they can take kombucha, they can take probiotics because they still have a gut. I want you to remember that your child has a gut and your child also needs the immune system to be strong. So it is very okay to give them probiotics and prebiotics. When the child is in infancy, now they are moving. This is when they're starting to talk, they're starting to see the colors, they're starting to move, they're crawling. The immune system is boosted by movement. So it is important for you to allow your child to move. It is building up the strength of that child's the movements. It's building up before I get to the walking, remember during infancy we have to expose our child to the sunlight, morning sunlight, so that they can get the vitamin D, because they need vitamin D for their bone health. They need vitamin D so that they can be able to break down the magnesium. Just like you, they need some sunlight. So now they are moving. Allow them to move naturally. I know some of us are prone to preferring for them to move with a walker. Is there a problem with that? I don't have a problem. I can't do that to my child, but I prefer you let the child do it naturally. Let the child crawl. Some of us have strong immune system because we played with soil, because we played on the grass. So introduce your child to nature, introduce your child to grass, to soil. Let them get dirty a bit, because that dirt is helping. Unfortunately, we are the same people who have made the dirt full of chemicals, full of fertilizers, and full of pesticides and herbicides. So we still don't want to take our children out because they are full of chemicals. Observe that child and see the structure. You see, the early stages is when you notice if there is a bone that is not developing well. You need to be aware. Sorry. For example, you've seen children whose the sole of the foot is not well balanced. They're not, or it's not doing what it should do. So make friends. This is when you get to know who your friend is, who your child is. Get to observe them, how they are moving, how they are standing, how they are, what is carrying them, how are they going on. So this is the point at which you make friendship with your child. Another way of boosting immune system, I keep going back to the infancy and the breastfeeding part. Another way of boosting the immune system of your child is the beautiful words that you tell that child when they are born, as they are breastfeeding. You notice that this is the connection point. The first person they are given to when they are born is a mother, and then the father is always hanging around. So the child will know the sisters, the mother, and the father. So what words are you speaking to this child? Speak life to this child as early as when they are breastfeeding. In my traditional community, when a child is breastfeeding, a mother says toga, and that means translates to get rich, get rich, get rich. So the mother keeps prophesying that, get rich in terms of nutrients, get rich in terms of life, get rich, toga, toga. So it's important for you to observe what you're saying to these children, because they hear more than what they say. So infancy stages, what they are hearing is more important. And do not assume that a child doesn't know when you're stressed. A child will know when you're stressed. A child knows when you are not okay. A child will know all these things. So be careful what you are saying to this child. Speak life into this child when the infancy stages, the childhood, up to teenagehood, and even adulthood, because they will remember these points. This is when a child determines a child needs intimacy from the parents. So it's important for you to also provide intimacy by holding them, that's a physical touch, by words of affirmation, the 5 languages of love, giving them quality time, doing them act of service. The child will hear and feel the languages of love that we speak here on planet Earth. So now we are in the stage where they are feeding, and we have said we will need to hydrate them. We will also allow them to sleep. We'll allow them to play around so that they can get dirty, they can get tired. We clean them and we allow them to sleep. During sleep, the immune system is being empowered. When we start feeding the child, and maybe early childhood, most children get prone to tonsils, flus that are coming and going. First of all, I want us to agree as naturopathic and functional healthy life ambassadors that when you get a flu, you should not be stressed so much about the flu. You should be observing how strong your immune system is. It is just a test. It is a test. And if the flu lasts, oh, my kombucha is tamu, it's delicious. If you're not taking kombucha, I don't even know what you're taking. It's delicious. So when you get a flu, it is quote in quotes testing the immune system. The viruses are all over, the bacteria are all over. So once in a while, you'll go and get it. If the flu lasts longer, means you need to do something about your immune system. If the flu lasts 3 days, then you're good to go. The immune system knows how to beat. The problem is we allow the immune system to be so suppressed that whenever any disease comes, it will take so long to try and heal it. So it is not just about the flus. Children's immune system are not fully developed. They are developing. That is why they keep getting the flus, they keep getting the tonsils. So our work as parents or as guardians is to help the immune system to grow and to be strong enough to be able to withstand whatever will keep coming. Our problem is we are not boosting our children's immune system. Instead, we are giving them medication. Let that sink in. Most of us are not focused on boosting the immune system of children. Instead, we are running for antibiotics left, right, and center. In a month, you will find someone taking a child to hospital 3 times, and they are given antibiotics because the infections will keep coming. The infections keep coming. They keep coming. So what do you do to help this child? Going to hospital is not wrong, because I know you are going there because you don't want to see your child suffer. But sometimes it's important to try the home remedies first before you run to the hospital. When we were a bit younger, when we had fevers, our mothers would do the hot and cold presses and would remove the clothes and would give us, then later they would give us calpo. But then we did not take that calpo through and through. Instead, we were being fed other things. My plea, this is a plea. I'm even talking in the lowest language, in the lowest volume that I can speak. My plea to parents is, let's minimize the number of times we are running to hospital, and let's increase the number of times we are feeding our children probiotics, prebiotics, vitamins, the macro and the micronutrients. How many times we are introducing our children to steaming using the natural resources like eucalyptus? How many times we are allowing our children to drink water to boost their immune system? Antibiotics, if you study the history of antibiotics, the antibiotics came to sort out a certain problem. There were actually, there's a book that I was reading that was saying that they were invented as an accident. The person who invented them was, I think they were talking about aspirin and something else. It was like an accident. He was making this and then it worked for this and this. So whenever you abuse the antibiotics, whenever you allow the body to keep taking so many antibiotics and so many drugs, you are suppressing the immune system of that child. And so it's important for you to help that child, the immune system, with what you are allowing him or her to feed. When my daughter was younger, she used to have stomach problems, quite young, around 6, 7. And I had taken her to hospital so many times. So I have been a victim. I have done that before I knew all these things. And we could deworm her so many times because I thought it was dewormers. Until one day, I met a very gracious, nice doctor who asked me, do you feed your child food that has been stored in the fridge? And I said yes. And he told me, go and take away that fridge and you'll come and tell me whether this child will keep coming back to hospital. Indeed, we have never gone back to hospital because that is how I got rid of my fridge. Some of our children, we are feeding them foods that have been over-refrigerated, and they have a problem in absorbing nutrients, and we have a problem saying that they have stomach issues. Some of our children, we don't give them water. We don't teach them, we don't remind them to take water, because as a child, you will need to remind them to take water. And then they are constipated. And then they have gas problems. And then they have stomach problems. And the answer was maybe only water. Some of our children, their skins have eczema because the gut is imbalanced. They have a gut problem. But then we keep feeding them with the highly inflammatory foods like milk. So when a child has eczema and you give them milk or you give them wheat, lots of wheat, then you're encouraging the eczema. So instead of doing that, you introduce the foods that are less inflammatory. You give them probiotics. You wash them with a mild soap. You apply rose water and you apply coconut oil, and come and tell me if the eczema will not disappear. Our children who have consistently been having tonsillitis, it is because the lymphatic system doesn't know is not strong enough. The system is not functioning how it should do. So what do? We help that child's lymphatic system. We help that child's lymphatic system be able to be strong enough. You start by introducing probiotics. Our biggest problem as human beings is that we take probiotics only when we are sick. We think we should take kombucha because we are sick. We think we should take kombucha or apple cider vinegar because we are losing weight or because we are sick. I've made it a tradition, and since I did that, most of my problems disappeared. That every day I will take at least 1 glass of probiotics if it's liquid. If it's sauerkraut or kimchi, I will take at least a tablespoon or 2 tablespoons of sauerkraut or kimchi. So it's important, especially for men and for women, to do probiotics. So this child who has a consistent tonsillitis, it is important for you to help them with probiotics. It's important for you to help them with water, hydration. It's important for you to give them herbal teas that will help them pee a lot so that they can be able to help remove these bad bacteria and protozoas that are accumulating and looking for a place to live. I want to explain in a simple language, not like a doctor would explain, but I want to explain to someone what happens when the tonsillitis keeps coming back. So the lymphatic system, which is a sister or a cousin or maybe a twin sister to the circulatory system, that is given the role of taking out the dirt from the blood, it is next to the circulatory system to go and take out the dirt. By that I mean maybe the bad bacteria, maybe the protozoas, maybe the fungal, maybe anything that is the bad that is coming with the deoxygenated blood. The lymphatic system has the streams, and then God in his own ways created dustbins. Again, I said I'm using layman's language. So the same way when you're in your kitchen, you are making food, you have some dirt, you put in a small dustbin. After the dustbin is full, you usually take out to the bigger dustbin or trash bag. After the trash bag is full, you usually take it out further so that it can be picked by someone else. In Kenya, it's taken by Kanjo. So then it is disposed. That is how the system of the lymphatic system works. That there is dirt that is being collected. And then God in his own ways created the lymphatic nodes to help in cleaning this system. And then the lymphatic nodes knows how to dispense the dirt from our body. It knows how to dispense through urine. It knows how to dispense through sweat. It knows how to dispense through so many other different ways. So if the lymphatic system is not empowered, it means that this dirt will keep accumulating in the wrong places. And when the dustbin is full, and because the immune system is not strong, the systems are not working right, and then they realize these dustbins are full, but they are not coming out. They start swelling because they are actually full. When they swell and you are not doing anything to help the immune system, they start creating pain through inflammation. They start getting inflamed. And then when they are inflamed and you still don't get it, the body will jump in to try and deal with this. The body will try and deal with the dirt that is in the trash bag, because it is now swollen, it is now inflamed, and it comes in with fever. So fever is like the soldier. Fever is the soldier who comes in with the fever to come and try and help clean up the system. So at that time is when we give them the what are they called? The antibiotics, and the antibiotics help clean the dustbin quickly. But then the fact that they helped clean the dustbin, it does not mean that you helped that child's immune system to be strong enough for the next time. So if you give them the antibiotics and you did not do anything to boost their immune system, the next time the dustbin will be full, you will need another dose of antibiotics to come and help clean up. So after you clean up the dustbin, you should continue helping the body, the lymphatic system, to be strong enough to withstand what is coming next, because it will keep coming back. Because remember, we are built up of bacteria. Remember, there are viruses all of us, all around us. Remember, we are built up of that. So what am I saying? I'm saying If your child keeps getting flus, if your child keeps getting boils, if your child keeps getting tonsillitis, after you do the treatment, you need to do a long-term way of helping the immune system strong. Propolis is the best friend for children. The bee propolis for a child who is not allergic to bee products. Propolis is antibacterial, antiviral, anti-inflammatory. Propolis would really help. Black seed oil is an answered prayer for every parent. I have quite a number of parents who used to go to hospital every now and then. And when we introduced kombucha, propolis and black seed oil, the three of them, those children stopped going to hospital. So it's important for you to introduce this and to feed these children even when they are okay and when they are not okay. You don't have to wait for them to get sick. Does this mean that flus will not come? No. Flus will still come. Even me and you, flus still come. But the frequency of the flus and the longevity of the flus when they come is what will show you the immune system has changed. So it's important to introduce those three. And also, if you can also introduce CMOS. CMOS is a probiotic, but it also helps with the helping in the restoring and balancing the mucosa, the body mucosa, and helps in fighting the inflammation in the body. The other anti-inflammatory foods that you can introduce in your child's diet is ginger, turmeric, garlic, cinnamon, cloves, star anise, black pepper, cayenne pepper, the spices. And the problem is we think spices should only be put in food. We can play around with these spices as much as you can. You can play around with these spices. Before the end of this class, I'll show you something that I've done, and maybe it will help you. Maybe it will help someone, because I hope. Yes, I'll show you in the kitchen. I made it using passion fruits, and I did passion fruits, some hot water. I soaked with cayenne pepper, black pepper, ginger, and some little bit of herbal honey. And then I have fermented it 3 to 5 days, and it tastes heavenly. So it is a good anti-inflammatory. So don't make it boring to have these spices. We only wait for them to be in foods or to put them in water. You can add them anywhere. You can do anything. So introduce the spices in your child's life as early as possible. Then there's someone who was telling me, but children don't take pepper. I'll take you back to Asia and to the Indian community. They start feeding a child pepper when that child is still maybe an infant. And those children have never died. So pepper cannot kill anyone. Cayenne pepper should be a part of the introduction of what we are introducing. However, the challenge we have is at childhood level, in this time and era, the best food that we are giving our children is junk food. We are giving them pizza. We are giving them chicken, that coated chicken from these companies that I'll not talk about. I'll not call them by their name because I don't want to be sued. We are feeding our children noodles. Those foods have no nutritional value, or if they have any, it is minimal and it is tampered with. So what you're feeding your child is how they will live. Did you know that the sperms that your child will produce at 40, you are helping that child to have strength to be able to keep forming these sperms as early as then. Like a child whose immune system was well boosted, they will not suffer so much ukombele when they need when they are struggling with erectile dysfunction. Some of us, especially maybe millennials and the age before millennials, we were fed foods that were very rich, that even when our bones broke, we could just recover very fast. These days, our children's bones are very soft. So what you're feeding your child will determine their bone strength, their brain function, Feed them with fish oils, feed them with seeds, the chia seeds, black seeds. I've seen given you, if you want a brainy child, if you want a child whose brain is smart and also someone who is remembering, this is where you give them omega-3, 6, and 9. We give them the calcium, you give them the water. If you want strong bones, this is when you give them the avocado seed powder. You give them the baobab fruit powder. By the way, there's a tea I can tell you. This one, I can assure you, if you keep giving your children in the childhood stage, you will come and thank me later. If you boil 5 liters of water, then when the water is boiled, you add several petals of hibiscus. Several petals of hibiscus. You add a handful of indigenous leaves tea, and then you add 5 tablespoons of baobab fruit powder, and you can sweeten with honey if you have the good original honey. You mix and you cover and you leave for 5 to 10 minutes. Then you let it cool completely. Then you put it in your jerry can or in your bottles, and then you don't have to refrigerate. Keep it there and tell children this is the juice. They will believe it's a juice, and that juice will help. And I know if Lucy is here, she can give you a testimony, because that is what we did with her children, and she saw a very big difference. These children will start having a good bowel movement. These children will become very hungry. So that when they become hungry, give them snacks of seeds, fruits. Give them snacks that are healthier, not biscuits and chewing gums. So these children will have good bowel movement. It means they will be hungry. The flu frequency will reduce and they'll be happier. Their skins will be better. So if you're there and you're wondering which juice, instead of going to these supermarkets to go and buy those artificial juices, introduce kombucha and that natural juice to your children. Come and thank me later. When the child is in childhood, it's also important to know that the immune system is affected by stress, and children get stressed. If there's a psychologist here, they will tell you that children also go through stress, and their stress is different and it needs to be handled differently. So it's important for you to observe your child and to engage your child to know the stress levels of this child. Some people in the childhood stage, they do bedwetting, and we embarrass them and we say all sorts of things, and their self-esteem is low and all these things. Sometimes it will affect, not sometimes, in that case it will affect the immune system. So it's important to address, even when they make mistakes, when they are learning, all these things that they are learning, it's important to see what have you exposed your children to. Don't forget to feed them vitamins. Don't forget to feed them vitamins, because most of the time we forget. And then introduce water. Africa, I believe I'm speaking to Africans here. Africa, allow me to say this. This nonsense of saying my child does not eat this, my child does not like this. Your mother never gave you a chance. As long as you know it's a healthy thing that you're giving your child, give them. They will hate you for 1 minute. The next minute, they will be thankful. You remember back then when our mothers would even hold our nose and, oh, if it means doing that, go ahead and do it. They will hate you for now, but in future, they will thank you. We Africans have our own ways, but now we want to be so westernized. We want to be so westernized that we forgot our ways. I'm here to remind you that we need to go back to our ways. We need to go back to our foods. We need to go back to our to the way we were feeding a breastfeeding mother. It is very important to go back. Allow me to read the comments. Please, Madam Carol, repeat the ingredients for natural juice. We were taking notes. Oh, the natural juice for children. You boil water. I'm giving you now the recipe for 5 liters of water. You boil the water. When the water is ready, so please note, we are not boiling the hibiscus. We are not boiling the ingredients. We are boiling water. So when the water is still very, very hot, you add a handful of hibiscus petals, dried hibiscus petals. Then you add a handful of indigenous leaves tea from R&B, indigenous leaves tea. We have made the indigenous leaves tea to boost the immune system, to detoxify. The indigenous leaves tea is just it's an amazing immune booster. So you do a handful of hibiscus, a handful of indigenous leaves tea, then you do 5 tablespoons of baobab fruit powder. 5 tablespoons of baobab fruit powder, which is rich in calcium, which is rich in vitamin C. It is a good addition. If you want to build the bones of your children, you can add 2 tablespoons of avocado seed powder. If you want to do the bone structure for the children, you can add 2 tablespoons of avocado seed powder. And then you can sweeten with honey if you have the natural good honey. Why the honey is good, is not as bad for the children. Of course, they don't take so often, but it is an anti-inflammatory for the children, and you can do with propolis as well. Our propolis suspension would also do. Then you cover and you let everything sit down. You let everything sit, and then after it sits for a while, you put it in a jerry can and you tell them this is a juice, and you can pack that to school. They can carry to school. And the beautiful thing about children, play around with the color and the taste. So the color makes a child feel it is. Why do children go for this juice that used to be called Ribena? I don't know whether it's still there. It's because of the color. So play around with the color, because hibiscus color is attractive. They will feel this is juice. It is indeed juice. If you check that all those artificial juices that you buy, they have a color. So in this case, give them that color. And you can, if you don't have hibiscus, you can use indigenous and it will have another color, another golden color, which is also beautiful. So play around with that and let the children drink. Guess what? According to the mind of a human being, if you see something so like in large quantities, you will not overfeed. So if you put that juice as 5 liters there, they can't take more than 2 liters. They will feel it's too much. So every day, tell them every day you take 1 glass. That's enough. They will, because they see it in plenty. Why people abuse is because they think it's not enough. So imagine now if you did that, and then you passed by the market, or you went to R&B and got the mixed trail of nuts. And so whenever they are hungry, the nuts will be there. They will eat the nuts. Then the fruits, then those children will have changed the way they eat. Okay. Mary, spinach has oxalic acid that hinders iron, calcium, and math. Okay, Mary is adding. I also tell you that I'm here to learn these things. Mary says that the spinach has oxalic acid that hinders ions, calcium, and magnesium. I don't know whether it is a question or you are commenting. Eunice, kindly share how we can make probiotics at home, the difference between prebiotics and probiotics. Hey, Eunice, I will answer that. Kindly share the passion fruit fermented combination again. Maybe here on the chat. Helen, it's the fruit. It's just a probiotic that I made. I took passion fruits because I have plenty of them in my farm. Added to warm water. Added some cayenne pepper. Added some black pepper. Added some turmeric. Added some honey, and then the honey that I used was the herbal honey. Herbal honey is a honey that is infused with several herbs that I usually get from Upper Road, from the Mesa Sisters. They have that herbal honey. And then I covered it with a cloth and I let it stay for 3-5 days, and it tastes delicious. Please repeat I've answered that. I agree. My kid takes sauerkraut 11 years and 3 years. Yeah. See, that child is 11 years and they are taking sauerkraut. There are those who say, oh, it smells bad. It is, you are the adult in this relationship. They will catch up. They will catch up. And the children change their mindset very fast. How can adults strengthen their lymphatic system? Alice, I have answered that question on my YouTube channel, Carol Your Health Coach. Go to my YouTube channel, Carol Your Health Coach, how to strengthen your lymphatic system. Yes, it also has a nice taste. The hibiscus, not just color, but it also has a good taste. I agree. I have introduced kombucha to my children and the natural juices too. We don't have flu problems. It goes away in 1 to 2 days. See, that's a testimony. my Joy, come for our indigenous leaves tea and mix it with hibiscus and baobab, and in 2 weeks your blood will be back. If it's not back, you come back and I'll give you back your money. So Joy, I have that. Mary, I don't have those facts. I will have to do research. Remember to ask me that question the next session. And I want to welcome questions. If you'd like, not questions, comment question. If you have anything you want to say, kindly lift up your hand and then we can unmute you and you will say something, because I feel like I have exhausted most of the things I had prepared for today. Unless if I've forgotten anything, you can share as a question, or you can. How does passion and the hibiscus mix be given to, or does passion? Yes, we have said they have a gut. A 1-year-old still has a gut. The only thing you do is the quantity that you change. So anything you feed on, that's a probiotic. The passion mix is a probiotic. The hibiscus mix is an immune booster. So yes, you do that because they also have an immune system and they have a gut. What can adults do? Lydia Murithi, you guys, you want to take me to adulthood. Today we were supposed to talk about children. We're supposed to talk about children. So we will do another webinar, which you make sure you come so that we can talk about strong bones for adults. How can one be diabetes free if you have type 2? Margaret, today we are not answering questions about adults. I am answering questions about children. We will do another webinar. Remember, in the afternoon, we have another one about hormonal imbalance. So prepare all those questions for hormonal imbalance. This afternoon, we have another webinar. We'll be talking about hormonal imbalance. So what we do is, so that we don't lose focus, when we have a webinar, we conclude that topic fully. Then make sure you keep it rocked and you keep asking when is the next webinar, and keep suggesting these topics to Annie, and then we can be able to discuss that. Stevia, when you're fermenting, it takes too long. Because remember, the honey, okay, oh, for the children, yes, for the children juice, you can do stevia if you have it. Wounds, Gathoni, you first boost the immune system of that child. 2, you clean the wounds with salt water, and then you apply the black seed oil or coconut oil. You apply coconut oil and black seed oil as often as you can. But also you need to clean the gut of that child. You need to clean the gut of that child with that juice that we just spoke about. So clean the gut and also introduce kombucha. So anyone who wants to say something, hands up. Mkono juu. Thank you so much for all of you who came. You can see we are 70 of us. It is a good number. Anyone who wants to say something? What do we apply for ringworms? We used to apply Sodom's apple. I don't know whether you can find it. If you can't find it, you can do coconut oil. But the ringworms are internal first before they become outside. So you give that child kombucha mixed with simos, mixed with baobab, mixed with antifungal. You give them the simos, a kombucha, a baobab, and the indigenous leaves tea. Then outside you can apply the coconut oil or castor oil, and you can also, or you can do the Sodom's apple. Nachukua yo nini you kata. All right. It seems no one wants to say something, because I would want to. Even my throat is tired now. Stash, we have talked about boils the same way we talked about tonsillitis. That is how you clear boils. Boils are just a reflection that the dustbins there's a malfunction of the system of the dustbin. So the first thing you introduce probiotics, the kombucha, the tepache, the sauerkraut, the kimchi, but kombucha is stronger. Kombucha has more probiotics. That is why you need to take it haraka. And then you help the gut remain balanced? How can you help a son who is obese? The appetite is very high. Which food is best for him? Almost 20 years now. So now, it seems like there's a topic, an elephant that I did not address. Our children's appetite, we give them when they are young. The relationship you have with food, you learned when you were young. If you grew up with the lack mentality, if you grew up with scarcity, you chose to be eating too much because you thought it would be over, you started when you were a child. Our greed starts when we are children. Our overeating starts when we are children. Our not eating, low appetite starts when we are children. The people who are struggling with weight problems and they are underweight, some of them are just reflecting their self-esteem, and then overweight, it's also as a reflection of self-esteem. So now it's 20 years and the appetite is high because that is the custom that was done. So for such a child, 20-year-old is not a child, it is a grown-up. They need to sit back and ask, what is their relationship with food? Because your relationship with food tells you where you are emotionally and mentally. So I would advise that the 20-year-old looks for a book called Women, Food, and God, and it will teach them something. Number two, you can introduce to them every morning before they do anything, they take a glass of warm water mixed with apple cider vinegar, 1 tablespoon. Then 5 to 10 minutes later, they take a cup or a glass and they take 2 tablespoons of sea moss, 1 tablespoon of pre-soaked chia seeds, 1 tablespoon of baobab fruit powder, 1 tablespoon of avocado seed powder, 1 tablespoon of Prunus africana, half glass of kombucha, add some little bit of water, mix well, and let them drink that. What does that drink do? It helps curb the appetite. It helps you with the fiber so that the digestion can be slowed down. It helps you with the probiotics that will help balance the gut bacteria. It helps that person be able to manage their weight. But also, if they are under stress, they have to deal with the stress. Because some of the weight problems we have nothing to do with our diet. They have everything to do with our stress, our emotional state. When someone is obese, they are protecting themselves from something. If you are fighting weight problems, there's something you're protecting yourself from. If you have underweight, there's something you're scared. You're scared of living life to the fullest. Someone has asked, what is kombucha? Kombucha is a probiotic. How do I answer this? Margaret, are you on our WhatsApp group? Kindly go to our WhatsApp group and write that question. What is kombucha? Because I really don't know how to explain. It is what I'm taking. It is a probiotic that it helps you balance the gut. It is fermented tea, either fermented green tea, hibiscus, ginger. It is fermented with a good bacteria called the SCOBY. Yes, Mary, it applies to the children under 10. And when a child under 10 is obese, there are several questions we need to ask. Why is that child obese under 10? User says, your sessions are always informative and inspiring. Keep up, Auntie, and God bless you. Thank you so much. Alicia, fruits for strong immune system. Luckily, fruits are good, but then you don't overdo the fruits because of the fructose, but you eat fruits. But citric fruits have higher vitamin C. Talk a bit on indigenous teas examples. Indigenous tea is a tea that we have at R&B Winnie. And so if you need the tea, please join our WhatsApp group and we will share these teas with you so that you can see what we are talking about. If you're not on the WhatsApp group, kindly tell Annie to add you to the WhatsApp group so that we can share. Asante sana, we appreciate you. Asante sana, Evelyn. Thank you, Lillian. God bless you, Carol. Thank you. Thank you so much. Prebiotics are part of food that body does not digest, but that may be used by microorganisms. Probiotics are food high in fiber. Haya, hiyo umejibiwa na Salome hapo. Salome has answered. Thank you for that information. Kindly share WhatsApp group number. Thanks. God bless you. So black seed oil is used for to drink and apply. Yes, black seed oil you drink, you apply. Yes, you do. You can actually apply on your hair. You can apply on your face. You can apply on wounds, and you can drink it. Please, did you do? Huh? Please, did you to? That question. Joy, that question, I've missed out something. Black seed oil has a strong smell that is reputable. Is it only me? Yes, it has a smell, but sometimes you choose the smell before everything else. Thank you so much, Peterson. If you want to join the WhatsApp group, you will write to Annie +254 +254 +254 750 +254 750 621563 +254 621563. You can also talk to Annie about joining our classes. Our classes are awesome. Okay, I'm not just saying that for the sake of saying it, but our classes are awesome. You will enjoy our classes. And we also have a farm tour where we go for a farm tour. And for my Ugandan brothers and sisters, I'm coming. I hope you are enjoying the discount that I gave you. The deadline is today. So book. If you're here, you are our Ugandan brother or sister. I will be in Kampala and I hope to see you on 2nd of August. We have a conference meeting where we'll talk about all these topics. Please don't come alone, please. But however, you need to book in advance. You need to talk to Sally. Need to book in advance because we need the sitting space. We need to book for the food and all these things. So the amount you're paying will be able to give you a way in. You can also book a one-on-one appointment with me through Sally, and we have set aside, I think there are only few slots remaining, so you better hurry. And other than that, please let's meet on Facebook. If you're on Facebook, my name is Carol, your health coach. If you're on YouTube, my name is Carol, your health coach. If you are on TikTok, my name is Carol, your health coach _KE. And on Instagram, I am Carol, your health coach. Remember all our social media platforms, IFNHP, Institute of Functional and Naturopathic Health Practice. Please follow, please share with your friends, please see the content that we put there and help us get the information out there. Our role is to wake up Africa, to remind Africa we actually have everything that we have been looking for out there. We have been looking for out there for things that God has already given us, and we are full. Africa is the richest in the world. We are very, very full. Nature has given us everything. So let's stop focusing on what we think we don't have. Our solutions don't come from far from us. They're just right under our nose. So I'm always happy, always thankful. Let me see the last. Yes, Annie has shared the phone number. Thank you so much, Carol. Ever since I started taking your products, wow, no acne, no pains. Wow, Gathoni, that's a good testimony. If you have a testimony, share with us, encourage us. Those testimonies really encourage us. Thank you so much, Gathoni. Caroline Nyawira, thank you so much. I'm humbled. Alice, I hope I'll see you in Uganda. I hope I'll be seeing you. Asante sana. Thank you, Carol, for the knowledge you share with us. We appreciate you. Helen Kamau, asante sana. How can I book one-on-one? I'm in Thika Town. Margaret, please talk to Annie. She will give you Susan's number, how to book a one-on-one session. Do you say for blood levels to drink hibiscus, baobab, and indigenous? Yes, Joy. Yes, joy. But also ask yourself, why is life running away from me? Why is blood running away from me? If you are under some certain form of stress that is stealing blood from you, you better deal with it. So it's not just about the internal, you also need to check the emotional and psychological state. Once again, I invite you to join our classes. We start our classes in next week. Is it next week? Come on, next. Yes, you ask Annie for details. Come, let us learn together virtually, just like we are doing here. So we meet again in the evening, in the afternoon, sorry. What time, Annie, what time are we meeting in the afternoon session? We will be talking about hormonal imbalance. So make sure you come with notes and questions and all these things. Samuel, good to see you. Thank you so much. Asante sana.
From 1
And
p.m.
from 1 p.m. Yes, thank you,
Yes,
Mary.
to
So
2:30.
from 1 p.m. to 2:30, we will do a session on hormonal imbalance. So make sure you come with notes and questions, and we will talk broadly about this. If you spent the whole time with us from the beginning to the end, thank you. If you joined us in the middle, we hope that you will get the recorded version. When you get the recorded version of this virtual session, please share with others. And I see my production team is here. Yusuf has decided to unmute. Wasalimie wote ambao wako kwa production house. So if there's no one who wants to say something, I would end it at that point and hand it back to Annie so that she can finish up. Thank you so much for your time. God bless you. Hope to see you in the afternoon. And also, if you're on social media, Carol, your health coach, are my handles. Thank you so much. God bless you.
Hi, everyone. Thank you, Cara. Thank you. We are very happy to have had that session. It was quite informative, and we are grateful. And may God bless you. Let's meet at 1 p.m. for the next session. Karibuni sana, and come ready. And that marks the